So what do you need to be able to do this? Well, you need some fun designer series paper, and it doesn't really matter what kind that you use, as long as it's Stampin' Up. But I think in my post, I mentioned that I was going to use the Sycamore Street paper. So that is from our celebration. So it's got some fun, some really fun patterns to it, and it all coordinates. So that is awesome. So we've got some of that, and we're gonna do a box that's similar to this one, but it's gonna be with some different papers. So I'm so excited that you guys have joined us this evening. Thank you so much. I think one of our viewers out there, Leah. Hi, Leah. Thanks for tuning in. So we're so excited. This is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna set this down. So what do you need? Well, you need designer series paper, and you're gonna need a piece of white, Whisper White cardstock, along with a old olive belly band that we're gonna make. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how I would do it in a class or just as I'm crafting. And if you miss some of the dimensions, don't worry. I promise I'll make it up to you, and I will put it in the post for tomorrow morning. So it will be there, and you'll be able to see all of those. You're gonna need a big shot. That's right, so you gotta have a big shot. And you know, I did a video recently talking about, I called them the Pop Tops, I think. No, what did I call them? Well, these are called the Pop Tops, but I think in my video I called them the Box Tops. Well, that's because, you know, I do box tops for the elementary school, so I'm kind of on the Box Tops mode, but this is Pop Tops. Oh, I can't even say it. Okay, so we're gonna use those, but I have a really fun trick, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. And so we're gonna do that. All right, so what I'm gonna do first is we are going to pick a designer series paper. Now again, folks, definitely log into that chat and send me a question. I'd love to hear who's out there and who's listening. And at the very end today, I've got a surprise for you, so I hope you stay with us. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull in our big shot, and I have here the Fancy Favor die. I absolutely love this die, and at convention, Stampin' Up, at Leadership I should say, Stampin' Up made this fabulous little box, and I love it. It was made with the Fancy Favor die, and they put a little greeting and a little note in there. For my open house a few weeks ago, I also made this same box, but I went into the Occasions mini catalog and I purchased several of the items out of there, the Pop Tops and some of the different embellishments, and I made a little, I made a box for all of my ladies that came in because I'm so grateful for their support and their love and my team members and everybody. So everybody got a box full of, I called it Brandy's Celebration Sampler. So it was really a lot of fun. So today we're gonna do a different spin on this box. The belly band comes off, and then on the inside you have another box. So no, this is not the Fancy Favor die. I actually scored this, cut it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But this is from the die itself. So that's how it goes together. I'm just going to put that back in there, and we'll put our belly band back down, and I'm going to set this over here. So we're going to pull in our big shots. That's right. I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun. Stampin' at 9 o'clock at night. Love it. You know, I would be in here, so it's fun to, like, you know, have y'all with me as well. All right, so you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. I've cut this 6 by 12. Basically, you just need to cover your die. Now, I don't have my cameraman over my shoulder. Oh, so I'm gonna have to like hold things up and show things to you. So if there's something you really want to see, make sure you send a chat. And my cameraman back there, he'll let me know, and I'll hold it up, okay? And again, I'll have pictures and things for you as well. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your designer series paper, make sure that it covers your box. Now, one of my dear friends and team members, Leah, she always asks me, now, do you have the crease pad, the premium crease pad? And I always tell her, oh, Leah, I don't have the crease pad, but I use a shim. So I just use a regular piece of paper. If you have the crease pad, that's great. If not, just use a regular piece of paper and put that right on top. And we're gonna run this DSP through. I have to say, out of this celebration paper, my favorite is this purple. I just love this purple. Now, if you don't run it through with a shim, it's really hard to see those score lines. So the premium crease pad is fantastic, but it's on my wish list. I don't actually have it yet. So the next best thing is a piece of scrap paper. All right, so now what you have here is your box, right? So we're gonna go ahead and fold it up. That's right, so I'm just folding on all the score lines. Nothing crazy, anything like that. And so it is pre-scored. It's pre-scored, it's cut out. And so this is like a great way to give a treat or a favor, teacher's gift. I like to put these, I like to give them to my neighbors as well. Okay, so what you've got here is you've got the fancy favor die. I've cut it out, it's all scored, and we're going to go ahead and put it together. Now again, I don't have my cameraman, so I'm gonna kind of turn to the side. You'll see it all kind of goes together like that. Now how cool is that? Pretty neat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull in some adhesive. Now you can use sticky strip, you can use mini glue dots. I prefer Tombow. So you know, it's entirely up to you. Now I do a few classes where the ladies are like, oh my gosh, that Tombow stuff, I am like stuck to the table. Yeah, it has a tendency to do that to you if you know, you gotta go easy. But I really like Tombow, so I would recommend some Tombow. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I just glued the flap down. And the reason that I only did the flap on the side to make the box, you can see down here, it's still open, both sides. I just glued the one flap down because let me tell you, in the past, I have been like Miss Happy Gluer and I glue, and then I put it all together and I find out when I set it on the table, it's stuck to the table. That's because there's pieces here that don't, you know, they just aren't supposed to have glue. So, my husband says I'm a happy clicker on the computer and I tend to be a happy gluer as well. So you want to make sure you know where you're gluing so that you're not stuck to the table, or your favor, I should say. All right, here we go. So we've got the glue on there. We're going to push this down and push that down just like that. Perfect. Now typically what I do, ladies, is I always take another punch. I'll close it up, just set it inside there, and that just kind of pushes it all down, lets it get all, you know, get all dry and that sort of thing. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So grab a piece of Whisper white paper, okay? Because this is a box that we're going to make, and you can make this at home. And again, if you miss the dimensions, it's okay. I will absolutely share all of these with you. All right, so the paper that we're going to cut is going to be 5.5 by 11. So you're going to cut this, basically it's already 8.5 by 11. So let's go ahead and cut it to 5.5. So we're going to cut it to 5.5, and definitely set your scrap paper aside because you're going to need it, okay? We're going to set our cutting board down here on the floor. We're going to pull in our Simply Scored. That's right. Does anybody have a Simply Scored out there? I know where you can get one. That's right. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've cut the paper to 5.5 by 11. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to score it. Now Stampin' Up! Gave me some dimensions when they gave us the box. I've changed it up a bit, okay? So let's go ahead and score our box. We're going to start off in the corner here, and you're going to score it lengthwise. So this is your 5.5, and this is your 11. We're going to score down on the 11, okay? So we're going to score at 3/4. That's right. So one line at 3/4, one line at 3 3/4. Okay, and then 5 7/8. And yes, I always have to count those little 8 marks, even though, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And then 8 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there a question from one of our viewers?
Leona Davis wanted to know what kind of cutter you're using.
Oh, you know what? I am using, Leona wanted to know what kind of cutter. You know, I actually use the Fiskars cutter. Love this thing. I love it, love it, love it. You know, one, I think, trick on this is one of my team members was here the other day and she was cutting and her paper was starting to get kind of frayed. So remember that you always want to change out these little things in here. These things change out, and then I typically will change my blade as well. So that's going to keep you getting that fresh cut. But I love my Fiskars cutting board. I absolutely love it. Now Stampin' Up! Does have a new cutting board as well. I haven't ordered it for myself yet because I've got this one, but I've got a couple customers who have it and they absolutely love it. But my recommendation is whatever cutting board you do choose to get a big enough one that you can get a 12 by 12 sheet of paper on it, because when you're making different things and cutting, I just find it's better, it's easier. So, but that was a good question. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my paper to 5.5. I've got here what? 5.5 is what that is. So we're going to put this down in our Simply Scored, and we're going to score it 1 1/2. Okay, so I should say we're going to score it at 1.5. That's right. So we're going to make one score line down 1.5. Now this is going to be really hard for you to see because, you know, the camera's not going to pick up these score lines. But what I've done here is I've actually drawn the lines myself. And see this piece here? This piece I've cut out. So what you're going to do is let's go ahead and prep this paper. And you know, one of the questions I got the other day is when you score paper, do you fold it in the score line or away from the scoring line? I don't know if that makes sense, but basically if you're scoring this top piece of your paper, then when you fold it, you're going to fold it. So yeah, that is really hard to explain, but this is where I scored and I'm going to fold it away from me. There we go. So you're going to fold it away from that score line and it folds beautifully. So it's perfect. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now basically this is what I've got, you know, nothing big. This is one I did earlier and I drew some dark lines so that you could see it. So you're going to cut out this little segment here and then I cut up on each flap because remember we want to make a box just like the fancy favor. Do you see that, ladies? So we're going to make a box. Now the thing is this box is actually smaller than that box, so it's going to work perfectly to be an insert. So let's, I'm going to put this down because I think I'm all done with that. And let's go ahead and I'm going to grab some scissors and let's go ahead and cut this flap off. All right. Now one of the little tricks to making these different boxes and things I find is that when you cut up on this, so you're cutting up on the 1.5 that you scored. You're cutting it up to that score line. One of the tricks that I enjoy doing is take and kind of cut on a diagonal. Do you see that here? So that way when your box comes together, if you didn't score it really well or the dimensions aren't perfectly straight, it helps it all come together. So it's a good trick to kind of, you know, and it's just a real slight diagonal. It's nothing crazy. You don't want to cattywop to buy a new stretch of the means. So if you guys have watched my videos, you guys know that I'm a little quirky and I love to have fun. I love the Stampin' Up stuff. My husband says I'm addicted, and I am addicted. I mean, oh, I love it. But you know what? If y'all are watching tonight, you're addicted too, I bet. So, it's awesome. We can do it together. So, here we go. So, what we're going to do is this is basically the fancy favor, and it's just a box instead that I've just made. So, I put glue on my my flap, or my tab. That's right. And let's just go ahead and glue that down. That's right, we're just going to glue that down here real quick. And once we get this in place, you guys following along with me out there? Alright, so now what I like to do is I like my smallest flaps first, and then I'm going to put the two biggest ones, okay? So again, I would be careful on your gluing, so just try to, you know, eye it. You're going to glue where you need the glue, and because I generally just go for it and then I'm like, oh, rats. So I'm going to put a little glue on the other side. I know it's hard for you guys to see. I don't have a cameraman here with me, but I think you guys, if you're doing this with me, you'll know exactly what to do. So there we go. We have got a box, and I am going to switch over my punch and put it in there. Don't you guys just love this celebration paper? It's so pretty. I love it. Okay. So typically this favor you would fold in these little sides, but today's project we're not going to do that. Okay, so we're going to leave it as is. So now what I'm going to do, I have my box, and you should have your box as well. We're going to go ahead and insert the box that we made. It's really cute just like that, honestly. Very, very fun. So what I have done next is if you've got your old olive paper, or you could do Lucky Limeade, I bet you gumball green would even look good in that. So it doesn't matter. So just grab some green paper, and you're going to want to cut it to 11 and 1 1/4. Now Stampin' Up! Actually did it 1 1/2, but I felt like the paper is so pretty that the belly band didn't need to be much bigger. So I went with 1 1/4, but again, whatever you'd like to do. Now you can absolutely take your scoreboard and you can score on the lines to make this fit perfectly, but you know, that's just kind of an extra step in my opinion. You really don't need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just sort of find a spot. I'm going to say maybe right about here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. You know, and I'm just going to prep it. Now it's not going to go all the way around. I just didn't have any 12 by 12 paper. So, you know, I always just say we're going to improvise, you know, because I just like to do that. So what we're going to do, we don't have enough paper, so I cut a second piece. That's right. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and cut a second piece. I think when I was prepping it, I cut it at 4 inches by 1 1/4. But it really doesn't honestly matter how long this piece is. It just needs to reach to each side. So 4 inches is by far long enough. So all I'm going to do is just fold this piece and kind of get it prepped. The most important thing is you want to make sure that you're putting your belly band on straight. Otherwise, you know, this piece will be a little cattywamped, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is, let's see, we want to figure out where we want to glue this here. There we go. Can you guys sort of see what I'm doing? There we go. So basically, I'm just trying to figure out where I want this glued. And so I think I figured it out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on my box. Don't glue your box. Don't glue it to your box. But I'm going to glue it while it's around my box so I can kind of see how much glue I need to put on there. And then this one looks like it's pretty much most of it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you guys at home, I'm sure, are doing your box as well. And if you're not, I hope I inspire you to give this a try when we're done. It's a lot of fun. All right. So there we go. Whoop. Want to make sure it's good and dry first, right? There we go. I love Tombow, but sometimes if you get a little too much on there, it can get a little hairy. All right. So don't forget, now you guys can send me a question or two. You can chat in there. All right, so here we go. So we have our belly band, that's perfect. So we're gonna set this aside, and I'm gonna probably put it back on there so it stays, kind of, it gets its shape and stays on there perfectly. All right, now what we're gonna do is, I have got here the Blossom Punch. Okay, I love punch art. I don't know about you guys, but there are so many fun things that you can do. And you know, it's just, I like to think outside of the box, and I have this Stampin' Getaway Retreat, and I'm always trying to think of fun ideas and ways to inspire you guys. So this is a really cool idea. So you go ahead and punch your, sorry about the loud noise, but you're gonna punch one white blossom, and then grab your modern label punch, okay? And so again, I wanted to play with the Celebration Sycamore Street paper. So I liked this pattern. I thought it was fun. It was interesting. So I'm going to cut 3 modern label. I'm going to punch 3 out of my paper here. 3 modern label punches. That one right there. Okay? So the cool thing is I'm sure most of you guys probably already know this, but I didn't. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that the shape of this little modern label guy right here is like pretty darn close to this one. And there's 6 petals. So if there's 6 petals, then you can glue your flowers down like that. And then like this. And then, so let me get one glued, and then we're gonna zoom in and show you guys. So I like to pop everything up. I highly recommend it. So what I'm going to do, I've got me some 2 Stampin' Dimensionals, Stamper Doodobbies, and we're going to put those on the back. I recommend putting on this first one, putting one in the center, because it's going to, essentially it's going to hold up the other 2 as well. So let me just put this down, and then I am going to have a zoom in here to show you exactly how I did that. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Down a little bit. Oh, not that far, not that far.
Is that good? Perfect. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to add that one, and then we're going to add this one. See that? That is some cool stuff right there. So, you know, typically you would have to buy, you know, the punches are great when they layer and that sort of thing. But I'm sure somebody who was really smart knew this at Stampin' Up, but I missed the memo and I was really excited when I saw that it worked. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So I am putting, now remember, you can either put a little bit of glue here in the center and then put it down, or you can put some Stampin' Dimensionals behind it and just pop it up, just like that. And then I'm going to do 2 on the other one as well. You know, I just love this side of the paper. I know I just get off on tangents, I really do. But I just love crafting, and I have to tell you, I love this side of the paper, but I have not figured it out yet. So if any of you have any really great cards that you've done with it, I'd love for you to send me an email and show them to me, because that is just really pretty. All right, so let's set this back down just like that. All right, so there we go. We have got our flower, and it has the modern label punches on it, so that's perfect. Okay, guys? All right, so now we're going to do something really fun. So I hope you guys are ready. Here we go. So I know that in the picture I said I showed you this project, but the dimensions are the exact same for this project. I just changed the papers. So, you know, when Stampin' Up! Talks about casing, that is so true. Copy and share everything. You can change it up. You can make it your own. Just change the flower. Just change something, and now it's your creation. So this was my first project a year ago. Today I'm changing it up to show you another way that you can do it with some of our current product. So I hope that's okay. This here is the same modern label punch, same the blossom underneath it. And then this punch here is retired, but I think I was talking to you guys about these fun pop tops, box tops, pop tops, you know. They're really cool. I absolutely love them. Okay, so really, really cool. So let's see here. What can we do with these? Now, we could just do this. That'd be super cute, right? Yeah, let me show you. Super cute, yeah. But, you know, let's try and put it through the Big Shot. Anybody think it'll go through the Big Shot? What do you guys think? I don't know, but we're fixing to find out. So it's either going to work or it's not, but we're fixing to find out. Okay, so you need a Big Shot, and doesn't really say anything about pop top embellishments on the old Big Shot pad. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give it tab 1. Okay, so we're going to give it tab 1, and we're going to make a sandwich. These things are so warped, let me just tell you, they have had some serious love. Okay, so, all right, how about I do it this way so y'all get a little bit of feel. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a pop top, and you know what I think I might do is I've got some Kleenex here, and yes, I brought this Kleenex along just because it's so shiny and pretty. I didn't want to rough it up in case, you know, I don't know. So anyway, we're going to put some tissue down, and then I'm going to put my top piece, and I am going to run it through the Big Shot. Oh, didn't look like it was too hard, did it? No, just kidding. I made it through. It's all done. All right, let's see. I'm going to put this aside. And so what I just did is I ran one of the new Stampin' Up! Pop Tops from the spring catalog. And let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that is super cool. Do you want to show them how cool that is? Let me show you what it looks like before you do that. I don't know, can you guys see that? How cool is that? It's like flat. It is really flat. It's thin. It is really cool. Okay, so let's see here. What are we going to do? Well, first off, I got to get this plastic out of my way. And I'm going to bring this back in. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's put, I don't know, we're probably going to have to put a couple behind there. You know, I might even put a third one just because it's metal and it's a little, you know, warped from going through the Big Shot, but it still looks really cool and it's definitely shiny. So where's our flower? There's our flower. I don't know about you guys, but when you craft it, do you ever feel like everything just like explodes on you and you can't find stuff? Yeah, it pretty much happens to me every single time, but that's okay. All right, so there you go. So I just put that in the center of my flower. Love it already. Now that is totally pretty just like that. So I really, really like it. However, let's go ahead and take it a step further. So I bought the Collage Curios stamp set, very cute, and I'm gonna pull in my Summer Starfruit. Really like this color. It's a really deep, it's a golden yellow. It's very, very pretty. And so I just pulled out one of the images out of the Collage Curios. And I'm gonna stamp that. Now you're gonna need a 1-inch punch if you have that. Now remember, ladies, you do not need to do it as I have done. Any flower, punches, layered embellishments would be absolutely gorgeous on this box. But I'm just trying to show you another way to do it, another idea or two. All right, we're gonna pop that out just like that. And at this point, you're gonna wanna use mini glue dots. And as I'm looking on my table here, let me reach. Okay, so we're gonna use some mini glue dots. You know, I find that you're not gonna wanna use a liquid glue on these pop tops. I don't know, I wouldn't use a liquid glue, I would use a mini glue dot. So I am just setting that little 1-inch piece that I just popped out. I just set it right there in the center. Perfect. All right, next we need a greeting, okay? So a lot of times I love to give Stampin' Up! Gifts, and I love to give my own homemade baskets and things like that. So this one says sending many thanks, and I think it's from one of the petite stamp sets. I love it, but you know, I thought, why not use some of the new, the little curly label ones? They are just as cute as they can be, and they are in our celebration catalog, and love them. And there's so many to choose from. So you could put a treat inside of there and put the yum, or you could put a happy birthday, or a hello for just a friend. So I've got Rich Razzleberry here, because I love this purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some white scrap, ink up my Rich Razzleberry thank you, stamp it straight down, straight up, and this is the cutest little punch ever. Love it, love it, love it. Let me just tell you, when the girls first started coming to my classes, I had them cutting everything out, and they still love me and they still come back. But let me tell you, we punch now. So the punches are fantastic. All right. So I just punched out what I stamped, my little thank you that I just stamped. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use a mini glue dot, actually a Stampin' Dimensional. And I am going to put my Stampin' Dimensional behind it. And then I am going to just put that right here in the center of my flower. It's very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. And what I like about it is stamping it in purple, wait till I put it on the box. The purple box, it really pulls the color. So I think you'll like it. I think it's really neat. Now what I've got here is the rhinestones, the jewel rhinestones. Really fun. So what I tell the ladies is get in these jewel rhinestones. They have the sticky dots behind them. So take your scissors and kind of dig underneath them and get that glue dot out of there. A lot of the ladies will come to my classes and they're like, my gems won't stay on. And I'm like, well, you're not getting the mini glue, the little glue dot. So you have to kind of get in there and get underneath it. So what I've decided to do is you could honestly put your little gem anywhere, but what I decided to do was put my gem in the O of U. So thank you with a little pretty sparkly rhinestone. Love it. So that's where my little gem just went. All right, so I'm going to move out of the way. Do we have a question?
When you put the pop top through the Big Shot, did you put it up or down?
That's a good question. What I did is I actually put it down. So I took my pop top, is that right? Yep. And I took my tissue paper and I put it down. And then I covered it with the tissue. The first time, yes, I have done this before. I'm going to admit it, okay? The first time I did it, I just put it inside. I just had this harebrained idea, and which I typically do, and I put it through the Big Shot, and it kind of roughed it up and it wasn't very pretty. But with that said, I was already going to cover it up with a 1-inch circle anyway, so it was okay. But I thought to, you know, on this next one, if I put it in the tissue, then it wouldn't leave any marks in it and it would flatten it nicely. So I did, I put it down. That was a very good question. Okay, so my flower is done. I'm gonna go ahead and let's add it to your box. Now I would go ahead and add a Stampin' Dimensionals. I really like the pop. I really do like it popped up. You know, but it's entirely up to you. You can absolutely glue it down. So, you know, it's just kind of whatever you're feeling. I would definitely, you know, secure it pretty good because you've got quite a few layers and the piece of metal on the top as well. So we're going to put our thank you right there. Oh, so cute. Can we zoom in on this? I love it.
Raise it up just a little bit.
Right there.
Oh.
Awesome. Very cool. What do you guys think? You guys out there with me today? I hope you guys are liking this project. Leah, what do you think? Yeah? Is Linda joining us out there?
Linda Benorio?
Yeah. Hi, Linda. I can't wait to meet you at Stampin' Getaway. Yay! Awesome. Okay. So anyway, so this is our fun little box. So we have our belly band. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a switcheroo on you guys here real quick. So I did a box earlier, and this was the one that I smushed, I guess, first. It still turned out very pretty. I love it. But on the inside is a little surprise. So I am going to do a post with this picture and some details, and it'll be available for you tomorrow. When it is available, if you go out there, or if the post that currently announced our live session tonight, if you leave a comment and let us know what you thought of tonight's class, and if you'd like to see us do it again, I'm just going to randomly draw out of a hat one of the comments, and I'm excited. I'm going to send somebody the little lucky, what's it called exactly here? The Petite Curly label. Yes, that's right. So this is in the celebration, but it's also going to be in the main catalog. So I'd love to send somebody this punch. So if you could go out there and let me know what you thought of today's class, and if you'll join us again. Again, this was my first time, and I don't have a cameraman over my shoulder zooming in and that sort of thing. But you know, I was excited to give it a try. So I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. And does anybody have any questions? We've got about, I think, about 10 minutes before we have to wrap up, before I lose battery juice maybe on my camera. So if you have any questions out there on that live chat function, go ahead and let me know. And so don't forget to leave your comment, because I will definitely send you, I'll send you my box with the punch, okay? So don't forget to do that. And again, the celebration paper that I used today is fabulous. This is from the Sycamore Street, and for every $50 purchase, you can get a free celebration item. And for those of you, my team members, my customers, my stamping friends, thank you so very much for your support and your friendships, because I absolutely love you all, and I'm so grateful to be here and that you're here. So I really appreciate you tuning in. Do we have any questions over there from any of our viewers?
No, I think we're just about...
We're just about done.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't want to let them go. I want to stamp some more.
The scoring sizes, when you did the scoring table, could you give the sizes one more time?
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to cut your Whisper White piece to 5.5 and 11. So that is how big the actual paper is, 5.5 and 11. And then the first score line you're going to make is 3/4. Okay. The second is going to be 3 3/4. And then the next one is 5 7/8. And the last is 8 7/8. Okay. And then you're going to turn your paper lengthwise and score it 1.5 straight down. And then of course, after you prep those lines, you'll see exactly where you're going to cut up to the score line, to the 1.5 score line. And you'll see that, all these different flaps, and that's how your box is going to go together. And then this 3/4 is actually going to fold in like that, and that's what's going to glue on the inside of your box. Just like that. Cool? Oh, I do have something else to show you guys. Oh, you guys didn't think I was going to let you go that easy, did you? Yes, I'm a goofball, but you know, I just love this. All right, let me reach. So, not to get off on a tangent, but check this out. This is a fancy favor box, and that is a fancy favor box. How cool is that? That's pretty cool, right? So what did I do to make that? I'm not going to get into like great detail, but what I will do is just, hang on one second. Let me reach over here. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to do that to you. So what you're going to do is you are going to score another box, and then in sense you're going to cut off the flaps. That's right, and I believe you basically put your pretty side on the 3.5 on your cutting board, and you just cut those flaps off. That's all I did, is just cut the flaps off, and then I just made it just like I normally would, and I punched 2 holes at the top, and then I tied my ribbon. That's right. So I'll tell you what, just really quick before I get cut off here, before my camera dies on me, I'm going to cut this ribbon off because I love y'all and I want to show you some good stuff. So this is what it looks like open, and here it is. So it's your fancy favor box, and again the 2 holes are here at the top. Yeah, we have a question? Okay, and then you just wrap your ribbon through there, and you can tie a bow, and then it fits perfectly right over the top, and it's the exact same favor, it's just done a little bit differently.
They want to know what are 4 punches? What are your 4 favorite punches? What 4 punches you can't live without?
Oh my gosh, 4 punches that I can't live without. Well, let me look back here. Let's see. 4 punches that I can't live without. Gosh, that's hard because there's so many great ones. You know, I think when it comes to punches, layering. I love, love, love the butterfly punches. I absolutely love them. I think there's so many things that you can do with the butterfly punches. I also love the flower punches. You know, I would definitely go with a blossom punch. I think there are a lot of fun ways that you can cut up and make these look like daisies, different things. One of my team members, Leah, makes fantastic flowers. So I might talk her into doing a live learning class with us one of these days. And she makes these stunning flowers with this punch. But she's got to teach me first. So that is definitely one of them. The scallop. I love the scallop punch. Scallop, scallop, scallop. That would be a favorite. And what else do I love back here? You know, I like the builder punches. I like the bird a lot. And I really like punch art. So, you know, I think you can see things in all of our punches. It's really hard for me to narrow down to my favorite 4. But again, I think the blossom punch, butterflies, modern label punch, and that sort of thing. So, any other questions out there? All right, so I think it's time for me to go tonight. I sure do appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that you've enjoyed today's class. I hope that you've had fun. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know on my website. And don't forget to go out there and leave a comment. And just let me know what you thought tonight, and I will randomly select a winner and send you a punch and probably a couple other fun things as well. Thanks guys for joining me, and I hope you have a super weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks guys. Bye.